Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are doing distributive property, and you've got your handout pulled up on Canvas. On the instructions it says we're going to go over problems 1 through 4 with you, and then you're going to complete the rest of them on your own, okay? So we're going to go ahead and start, but I'm going to start with number 2 up here first, because there's no negative numbers, and we're going to show you a conceptual way of thinking about this, and then we'll show you the shortcut that'll make your life a lot easier, okay? So on number 2, basically what this is you're taking 2 factors here. You're taking 4 and you're multiplying it by 1 plus 9x. So when 2 things are side by side, you got to remember that means to multiply, okay? So basically what they're asking you to do here is that you're supposed to take 1 plus 9x, and we're going to write that down 4 times, okay? So I'm writing 1 plus 9x, and I'm writing it down 4 times. Okay, so that's basically what this problem means. 1 plus 9x, you're writing it 4 times. Okay, so now we add up each individual part separate. So if I've got 1, 1, 1, and 1, how many do you have? You've got a total of 4. Okay, bring your plus signs down. Now I've got 9x, 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 and 9x's. Well, how many x's is that total? So you've got 9, you've got 18, you've got 27, you've got 36 x's. So this is what you should end up with, 4 plus 36x. Now, this is a lot longer of a way than any of us really want to do, because imagine if this was 40 times 1 plus 9x. We don't want to write that down 40 times. Okay, so there is a shortcut here. So our answer is supposed to be 4 plus 36x. That's what we should get. So, shortcut. We'll say, okay, now you're going to learn how to use the distributive property. So, you'll hear some people call this, the real technical math name is the distributive property. However, you'll hear kids say all the time, oh, do the Santa hat. Okay, you'll hear do the rainbow. Okay, what's the other one? Is there another one, Mr. Winston?
That's the only 2 that I can think about.
Okay.
It's rainbow and Santa hat.
And the Santa hat.
But don't call it that. Call it distributive property.
You need to call it distributive property. Okay, that's the real name. But the reason they call it those things is because it can kind of look like a rainbow, or it can look like a Santa hat that's flopped over. Okay, so what they really want you to do, we talked about this many times, right? So the very first thing you should do is draw arrows from whatever's on the outside to everything that's on the inside.
So guys, a good way to think about it, why it's called distributive property, think about what distribute means. It means to hand things out or give things away. So what we're doing is we're going to distribute whatever number's on the outside to everything that's on the inside. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that we see is kids just want to distribute that 4 to the first number. So if it's just like me bringing Mr. Potts a Christmas gift and not giving one to Miss Bridwell, how do you think I would make her feel?
That would be ugly.
She'd be very, very sad, right? So if we just took that 4 to the 1, how would this 9x feel by not getting the gift of the number 4? It'd be very, very sad, wouldn't it? So make sure.
Math problems have feelings.
They do, and they hurt. They can get hurt.
So, like we said, when things were side by side, it means to multiply. So some kids go ahead and write that little multiplication symbol to help them remember. Okay, so you take 4 and you multiply it by 1. What is 4 times 1? 4. Okay.
I'm assuming everyone shouted at 4.
Yes, you better shout out 4. Now, we do the same thing because like Mr. Winstead said, we don't want to distribute to just one thing in the parentheses. We need to distribute to everything. So 4 times 9x's. So you have 9x's and you got that 4 times. So all you do right here is multiply your numbers. What's positive 4 times positive 9? 36. So you get a plus 36, but you have to attach your x to it. Now, that's a whole lot shorter than us writing that down like we did a second ago. Okay? So
if you're doing this right here for the first time, I'm going to go back to what I said about the mistake. A lot of times we'll see kids put this as their answer, and they will have no idea why that's wrong. So hopefully you know now that, okay, well, I distributed the 4 to the 1 to get that 4, but I forgot to take that 4 to the 9, I just rewrote the 9. So don't do that, that's incorrect. Make sure you go to both numbers.
Alright, so we're going to go back to number 1 over here. You do it the exact same way. Just because there's negative numbers in here, nothing changes. Okay, so we distribute the -6, and we have to distribute it to the A and the 8. Okay, so what's a -6 times A? Well, if it wasn't negative, if we ask you what 6 times A is, you would tell us 6A. Okay, you do it the exact same way. 6 times A gives us 6A. Okay, but this is a negative times a positive, which we know is.
Now you should know there is a number that's in front of A. If there's an invisible 1, so if you have a letter with no number in front of it, it does have a number. We just don't write it all the time in math, and that number is always 1. So 1A. So it's -6 times 1 is -6.
Okay, so then we also have to distribute our -6 to the 8. Well, 6 times 8 we know is 48. Okay, so but a negative times a positive is a negative, so that becomes a minus or a -48. Okay, now like Mr. Winstead said, a lot of kids will get the answer. They'll distribute this first one correctly, but then they'll do 6 times 8 and give us a 48. Okay, you have to pay attention to your symbols, to your signs. Okay, so this would not be correct.
Because we've learned that a -6 or negative times a positive is always a negative. Now you could also write it this way if you wanted to, if it makes more sense to you, plus -48. So you can do it that way right there too. Either one of those answers would be acceptable.
Now, with that, this is probably a good time to discuss this too. So, some people, I always get the question every year, well, what do I distribute to first? It really doesn't matter, okay? You can go -6 times 8 and get -48, and then you could do -6 times A and still get -6A. Either one of these are acceptable. This is acceptable. There's a lot of different ways to write these things, okay? With that being said, on your Google form, because we're going to get this question a lot, it's going to count it wrong because you might have written it, if we put it in the form this way, we put it in this way as well, but it's not going to take this answer, okay? If it counts it wrong and you think you got it correct, you just need to send us an email and say, hey, can you check on my Google form? I think I wrote some things a little different than you all did, okay? Because there's lots of different answers for these, okay? All right, we're going to do number 3 and 4 real quick and turn you loose. So number 3 is 6 times -5n plus 7. This, I think 4 is backwards, isn't it?
Yeah, so make sure.
Okay, so again, distribute. That means multiply. 6 times a -5n gives me a -30n. Right? 6 times 5 is 30, and a positive times a negative gives me a negative. Right? Now, 6 times 7, we know that's going to become positive, and that is 42. Okay? So it should be becoming a little bit easier to you. The only thing they like to do to mess you up is like they do on number 4. Okay? They just write it a little different. Okay? Now, by now you all should know you can write multiplication like this. You can write it like this. You can write it like this. There's lots of different ways to write multiplication. So you should realize that still means times 2. Okay? So that's the first thing they did to kind of trick you up over here. The other thing they did to mess you up is now all of a sudden our Santa hat or our rainbow was always going this way. Okay? This time they're distributing backwards. Okay? You still do it the exact same way. Alright, so just put our arrows, they go a different direction. That's all.
Or another thing that I used to tell, especially Math 6 kids, if you don't like the way this right here looks, that's fine. All you have to do is change it up and put your 2 in front. We can do that in multiplication. We haven't learned that property, I don't believe, just yet, but that's called the commutative property. So if you don't like your number on the back end, just move it to the front, and then just do exactly what Mr. Bell's been doing. So you can do either way there, whichever way makes the most sense to you.
So again, this is where, a lot of times this is where the kids say, well, wait a minute, which one do I distribute first? Okay, again, it doesn't matter. You can go here or you can go here. Okay, I tend to do my variables first, but that's just me. So 2 times 9m gives me 18m, and a 2 times 10 gives me positive 20. Okay, so again, if you had distributed this way, you could have said that's 20 plus 18m. You should realize those are the same thing.
The only thing is, guys, when you do it backwards, you got to be careful of your signs.
Yeah.
Because, for example, if this right here would have been 9m minus 10, and you did it kind of backwards, a lot of times we want to put 20 minus 18m.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful with that. So if you do it backwards, you got to make sure you're paying attention to whatever sign, if you have a negative or a positive.
That attaches to the negative 10. Okay, so
Yeah. So that would have been, if that had been the problem, that would have been your answer, is negative 20 plus 18. So just be careful with that.
now this is something that you will use a lot in this class especially, and in algebra next year, and all your
You'll use it all the way up through high school and college.
yeah, any advanced math. This is super, super important. Okay, so this is very basic right now what we're doing, but it will become a lot harder over the course of the rest of the year. Okay, so your job is to finish the rest of the page, okay, 5 through 24. And again, if the Google form counts some things wrong, look at it, see if you can understand, and if it's similar, just send us a text and or an email and just say, hey, will you check my Google form again? I think I got them right. I just wrote them differently. Okay, so you guys have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow.